I hope I am clearly visible and audible to all of you.
Yes, yes.
All right, all right.
Yes.
Mm, ॐ गणानां त्वा गणपतिगं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पत आनशृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनं श्रीमहागणपतये नमः। ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। निःश्रेण्यो ब्रह्मलोकस्य वाग्देव्याः कर्णकुण्डले धर्मद्रुममहामूले वाल्मीकिव्यासयोः कृतिः। कूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् आरुह्य कविताशाखां वन्दे वाल्मीकिकोकिलं। बुद्धिर्बलं यशोधैर्यं निर्भयत्वम् अरोगताम् अजाढ्यं वाक्पटुत्वं च हनूमत्स्मरणात् भवेत्। श्रीराम राम रामेति रमे रामे मनोरमे सहस्रनाम तत्तुल्यं रामनामवरानने। Namaste everyone, welcome back to our session number 8 now. So yes, we stopped at chapter 1 subchapter 7 subchapter 11. So we will be continuing from chapter 1 subchapter 12 today. So I'll just share my screen. Please let me know once you're able to see it. Yes. Yes. Screen visible ಇದೆಯಾ ನಂದು?
Yes, Rahul.
Okay, okay,
Yes.
yeah. Somebody else, Shweta. Yeah. Hi, Shweta. Welcome. We're just about to start. Welcome, welcome.
Hi, Rahul.
Hi, hi. Yes. So we're starting chapter 1, subchapter 12 today. So, yes. So I think a couple of questions were coming up on the group also. Very, very beautiful questions actually. So if we correlate, I mean this question was asked by Ashwath on the group. So if we correlate each character in the Mahabharata and the Ramayana into our behavior, which is blown up into a full character, then Ashwath's question was, if that is the case, then did the Ramayana and Mahabharata really happen? If Valmiki and Vedavyasa Maharishigalu, if they decided to write the Mahabharata and Ramayana keeping our behaviors in mind, then did they really happen? Was it a cooked up story? And that was a beautiful, very very valid question. In fact, right? So I think there were a couple of responses also that Rashmi and Chinmayima also gave on the group. Yeah. Yes, Indamma has also joined. Namaste, Indamma. Welcome.
Namaste.
Namaste. Yes. So we are now at chapter 1, subchapter 12. So that I mean, it was a very interesting question that they asked. A couple of you may have seen on the group, alwa. So, did Ramayana and Mahabharata really happen, or did Valmiki and Vedavyasa Rishigalu did they just keep our own behaviors as measurement criteria, and did they write the whole story using our behaviors? Alva? So in psychology, there is this concept called archetypes. 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 I think Kavita ji also may know about it because she is also a psychology graduate. So archetypes
Yeah.
are Alva. So
Uh,
would you like to maybe share your
Hello.
understanding of the word?
ಎಲ್ಲ ನೀವು ಮಾತಾಡಿ
Ah,
ಪ್ಲೀಸ್
sure,
ಕ್ಯಾರಿ
sure,
ಆನ್.
sure. So archetype anvaga, where you take one particular person or one particular aspect, and you analyze that particular aspect or the person's character, and then you average out the character into a set of well defined characters. One patti hakbodu, one list hakbodu. That Duryodhana, the characters, maybe there were many instances where he was a nice guy. There were many instances where he was not such a nice guy. So when you average out the entire set of characters, you will see that one set of characters will stand out completely. ಅಲ್ವಾ? So that will define, so that set, that list of characters will define that character completely. Like Shakuni, for example. ಈಗ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ದೇ ಯೂಸ್ ದೇ ಸೇ ನಾರದ ಬುದ್ಧಿ ತೋರಿಸ್ಬಿಟ್ಟ ಅವನು ಅಂತಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ನಾರದ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಈಸ್ ಒನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರೊಫೌಂಡ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಇಂಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಸೇಜಸ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಚಿನ್ಮಯಮ್ಮ ನಮಸ್ತೆ, ವೆಲ್ಕಮ್ ವೆಲ್ಕಮ್, ನಮಸ್ತೆ.
Namaste.
Yeah. So we're just discussing that question which was running on the group, right? So if Ramayana and Mahabharata were just expansions of our behaviors, then did they really happen or not? Or was it just an imaginative story of Valmiki and Vedavyasa Rishis, right? So that's what we were just discussing. So I was just mentioning about this aspect in psychology called as archetypes. So archetypes are, maybe I'll just, for the knowledge of everyone, let me just read out the exact psychological meaning itself, so we know what I'm referring to. Archetype, right? So it's the most typical example of a particular kind of person or thing. It ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? You're able to see my screen ಇಲ್ಲಿ definition ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ?
Yes, yes.
The most typical example of a particular kind of person or thing, right? So irrespective of all the good stuff the person has done or the bad stuff the person has done, there are some typical characters of that person which stand out, right? So like I was just quoting the example of avanu narada buddhi ತೋರಿಸ್ಬಿಟ್ಟ ಅವನು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋ. So Narada is supposed to be one of the most divine sages out there, whom we know, but he does things where he goes and brings in sort of a conflict between two parties, which will ultimately actually be for the good, right? So kannadadalli they very, in a slang language they say ಹೋಗಿ ಬತ್ತಿ ಇಡೋದು ಅಲ್ಲ, right? So ಹೋಗಿ ಹುಳ ಹಾಕ್ಬಿಟ್ಟ ಅವ್ರ ತಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ಸೊ ಆ ಥರ, so he does that because he wants equilibrium to be re-established again, either because there is an asura who is gone beyond control, or whatever is the reason. Narada actually wants things to come back to equilibrium, and hence he does this, going behind the back and doing things sometimes, or doing things in secret. So Narada buddhi ತೋರಿಸ್ಬಿಟ್ಟ ಅವನು, that phrase is specifically used when somebody goes and brings in a conflict in between two people, by either lying about something or whatever it is, right? So now, does that mean that is alone the character of Narada? No. Narada is one of the most divine beings. He is the son of Chaturmukha Brahman. Alva? So now there might be instances when Ravana is actually a profoundly good person also, right? So he was very knowledgeable in Vedas and Shastras. I mean, he was an extraordinary Brahmana, right? But there was one particular, so the moment we say ಪರಸ್ತ್ರೀಗಳ ಮೇಲೆ, ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಗಂಡಸರ ಹೆಂಡತಿಯರ ಮೇಲೆ ಕಣ್ಣು ಹಾಕಿದ್ದವನು ಯಾರು ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ರಾವಣ ಅಂತ, ವಿ ಪುಟ್ ಅ ಟ್ಯಾಗ್ ಟು ಇಟ್. So Ravana is one who kidnapped another man's wife. So now, was that the only thing he did in the entire Ramayana? No, right? So but Ravana became an archetype for that character, for that behavior. Shakuni became an archetype for cunningness. Alva? Duryodhana became an archetype for kama, for greed. Greed is the thing. Karna became an archetype for loyalty without questioning. When you know that you're also going outside dharma, you still don't care, because loyalty is more important to you than dharma. So now Karna is,
And also Dana.
Dana also, Dana, Shura, Veera, Karna, whatever they say, alva. Dana also, yeah. Charity, he was known for his extreme charity mindset, where he used to give away things without considering what consequences he would go through, alva. So that is an archetype example of Karna, right? Bhishma is blind adherence to dharma without questioning it, and without knowing when you actually have the rights to break the dharma also, right? When Krishna also comes and speaks to Bhishma when he's dying, Bhishma in his when he's on the Sharashaya, when he's sleeping on the bed of arrows, when Bhishma asks Krishna, why am I going through this fate? I mean, I have done nothing but follow dharma. Why did I have to go through this sort of a pain, seeing my grandchildren fight and destroy themselves? And when he asked, So Krishna, in fact, Star Plus Mahabharata, they've shown it very well, Alva. If you remember, you can actually watch it on. I think it's on Hotstar maybe. So I think it's available on YouTube also for free. So there is that particular scene when Krishna actually questions Bhishma and says, "What dharma do you think you followed? ಏನ್ ಧರ್ಮ ನೀನು ಫಾಲೋ ಮಾಡಿದೆ ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ಯಾ ನೀನು ಅಂತ he sort of questions him very shockingly, right? So he says,
But that particular thing was a big revelation for me also. When I heard the way Krishna questions everybody
exactly,
there,
Alva. See,
so
you know,
beautiful. Oh,
so when Bhishma says, "My loyalty lies to the throne," right? Whoever is sitting on the throne, I will be loyal to that person, and I will serve the throne, and whoever sits on the throne. Now, does that qualify as dharma? It qualifies as rules and regulations, but dharma is not rules and regulations, right? That is a very huge qualifying, or it's a very important concept for us to understand the fact that dharma is not rules and regulations, right? So the dharma does not have an equivalent word in English, right? The closest word that they use is righteousness. But no, if a deer, if a cheetah is attacking a deer and killing it and eating it, that is the cheetah's dharma. Now, can we call it that was the cheetah's righteousness? It doesn't make sense, alva. So righteousness is actually not the equivalent translated word of dharma, alva. So Bhishma, again, I'm slightly digressing by mentioning about Bhishma. When Krishna asks him, when Draupadi was being disrobed, you ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ಹೆಂಗಸಿನ ಮಾನಭಂಗನ ನಿಲ್ಲಿಸಿ ಆ ಸ್ತ್ರೀಯದ ಮಾನನ ಕಾಪಾಡೋದು ಧರ್ಮನ ನಿನಗೆ, ಅಥವಾ ಆ ಥ್ರೋನಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರು ಕೂತಿದ್ದಾನೋ ಅವ್ನು ಹೇಳೋದನ್ನು ಕೇಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿರೋದು ಧರ್ಮನ ನಿನಗೆ? ಫಾರ್ ದ ಬೆನಿಫಿಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದೋಸ್ ಹೂ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಕನ್ನಡ, ಐಮ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ರಿಪೀಟಿಂಗ್ ದಟ್ ಇನ್ ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್. When Draupadi was being disrobed by Dushasana in the Asthana, right, the Vastrapaharana episode, Krishna was asked Bhishma, is protecting a lady's chastity, or the honor of a lady, is that more important, or or adhering to your throne, being loyal to the throne, is that important, right? So he had this false notion that if I serve the throne, then I'm absolutely dharmic. I'm following dharma if I protect the throne. But that was not dharma at that point of time. So you need to
but
know when to.
one thing over here, Rahul, when you're saying this is all fine,
Hmm.
I have this question always in the Ramayana.
Hmm.
When Rama sends Sita, okay, there is a story that there is Maya Sita,
Hmm. Hmm.
it was not the actual Sita and whatever. If
Hmm.
you see from his point of view,
Hmm. 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 Hmm.
what Rama did to Sita, she's a 9-month pregnant old wife of his.
Yeah.
And it was his duty to take care of her. He just throws her in the
Forest, just
jungle.
exiles her.
That is something which I don't think was his dharma. I don't
So
know whether I'm
now,
right or wrong. How does
interestingly,
Raja Dharma come more important than your own dharma to your wife? She's also, you have wedded her, you've sworn to take care of her, you've sworn to, protect her, and you just throw her in the jungle. That also when she's carrying.
correct.
I don't know that the funda over here of dharma with Rama's thing. Maybe I'm mistaken. I want to understand the real
Right.
thing in this.
So in Madhvacharya's Mahabharata Tatparya Nirnaya, in that book, I have the Kannada version with me. I'll maybe take a photo of that particular
No, no
paragraph
point
where.
of I can't hear. I can't understand. You can take and send it on the group.
Yeah, I will maybe translate it to English also and send it. Priyanka and I, we were
Yeah.
reading it a couple of years back when we purchased that book. So there is a lot of runanu bandhas that come, especially when it comes to Ramayana, right? So a lot of the connection, or the transfer of karma between yugas happens a lot there, right? So including like Ravana and Kumbhakarna being Jaya and Vijaya, right? So there's a lot of reincarnations happening in Ramayana, right? The same continues in Mahabharata also, right? So I mean, I would like to actually have I'm pretty sure we will find the answers as we read through, by the time we come to the end of this reading circle also. But only see, if I want to show amendments to the rules and regulations. There's like right now my wife, it's my wife who's done the problem, who's who's under question, right? So really, I mean, see, if you were a judge and you had to remove sentiments out of your judgments completely, then that is what Rama probably did. He had zero sentiments while passing the judgment. So no, is
See,
that
if
dharma?
you did not have zero, if you did not have sentiment, okay. See, the thing is, your duty, your dharma to your wife is to protect her. There's no question of
So that's
sentiment
what
here.
we discussed,
Let
Madhuraj.
it be any woman. Suppose there was a cowherd woman also, or a dhobi's wife, or a small young lady who doesn't have anybody also, and she's carrying 9 months pregnant girl. You cannot send her to the jungle like that. And that also, you will definitely have to protect her. Even if you don't protect her in the palace, you can protect her separately. You can't send her off to the jungle.
Send of the jungle.
That part of it, I am not still, maybe I'm a novice and I don't understand, or I'm not a woman's lib person. But
Yeah,
per se, I don't
absolutely.
know.
I mean, this question has been a massive topic of discussion in Priyanka's cousin's family. If Ashwath was
Yeah.
there, he would also say the cousin sister whom we had called Priya Akka, whom we lost
Uh,
2 years back. Whenever we used
uh,
to get together in her place, her
uh,
brother was anti-Rama, and he was, I mean, she was, Priya Akka was a massive Rama Bhakta, right? So,
uh,
and they used to
uh,
have, this was the main conflict point, right?
yeah, this is the
Henry
only thing which I
Kadasthanam
don't
illa.
agree with him for any of the things. This
Correct.
one thing.
So, one
But
thing,
yeah, all the
yeah.
things are fine.
Yeah. So, see now, simple thing is, what I was able to understand with my short reading in the book. Again, I'll read the entire thing and share it with all of you. So, if
Yeah.
if I wanted, if I was the king, and if I wanted to show that compassion to my wife, because she was a thing, and imagine in the place of Sita there was another man. Okay,
Uh,
he would pass a different judgment there then, right? So I mean, according to you, so because she was
Not
9 months pregnant and his
necessarily.
wife.
Not necessarily.
uh,
If I was dependent on my brother, suppose it was a brother or it was another totally unknown man who's undergone the Agri Pravesha or whatever and found pure, and then he is coming to and staying with you or whatever, and somebody else says that it's not required for him to throw him out into the jungle.
Correct.
Just because one of his praja told him this, even she, his praja only, no, his wife. So
Correct.
what is one praja against another?
So inge
How can you weigh one praja from another
that is true.
and say he's right and she's wrong?
Correct. So again, I'm not supporting Rama here. you know we're different
No, no.
political parties,
I am putting
right?
it out to all the people who are here. There are all
Absolutely,
so many
we have
experts.
to
I am not
ponder.
a,
See, we are
I am
again,
not. Just
Alala.
a thought which has always disturbed me.
Absolutely, and this is the exact point of discussion where I'm getting back to what Ashwath asked in the group. Did Ramayana and
Huh.
Mahabharata really happen? Or was it just a projected story of Valmiki and Vedavyasa Maharshis based on our behavioral characters? Right? So, Ipa, now,
Uh,
if I wanted to show a leeway to my wife while I'm the king, if I wanted to be extra compassionate, that, Mahabharata Tatparya says, then you'll give up on the king padavi. You want to protect your wife,
correct.
give up on the king. You will stop being a king
Correct.
because there are other prajas to whom you have to be equally just, right?
Correct.
Just because my
Huh.
wife, you want to protect your wife because she's 9 months pregnant and because she's a woman and she's your wife, please do, but give up being a king because they are not being equal then.
We should have done that.
He should have done that. Yeah,
That would,
exactly.
that
Yeah.
would be his dharma.
Ah,
That would be the correct dharma. His dharma.
but again, they say, according to Raja Dharma, the kingdom comes first and then the family.
Kingdom
According to,
maybe so, but she's also your praja, no? Even if she's a wife,
the
forget
whole
her
as
position as a wife.
like they say, no, the
She,
sum is bigger than the total. What is that? The total is bigger than the sum of its parts. Adramai in or sentence circle, yeah. The total
uh,
is bigger than the sum of its parts. So
uh,
the praja and everybody put together is bigger than Sita alone.
maybe,
Ah,
but she is also the praja. One
So
minute.
if he
So,
wanted to show that,
no, no,
leave
no.
it to her.
Per se, however she may be, even if they have, and after undergoing the Agri Pravesha and found pure, if one section of society is telling one particular thing, you
Correct.
can't prove that, maybe, that she is.
I think we have to exactly read what is there in the original, what we are doing right now. Original என்ன இருக்கு
Okay.
பார்க்கலாம். Let's maybe come to
Yeah,
that
maybe.
stage. Maybe there are a
I'm
hundred
just.
sub
There's a
elements
thought
which
of
we have to
Dharma
discuss.
save, no, Rahul. I couldn't keep back. This is
I'm so glad to
something where I couldn't think that it's right, even though
this
he
is
may be
the
the Lord.
exact purpose of this study circle, because we want to question
Exactly why I'm there.
why did this why did this happen, what is it trying to convey, right? So
Correct.
yeah, absolutely, right. I mean, there are so many runana bandhas that have been mentioned in Mahabharata Tatpara and Nirnaya again. So there were some. It was apparently a curse also that Sita and Rama being Vishnu and Lakshmi, right? So
Lakshmi.
Vishnu and Lakshmi can never be separated, right? So they can never be parted. So some,
Uh,
apparently some asuras, they asked for a boon where they wanted to separate Vishnu and Lakshmi, right? And
uh,
one way in which it manifested was that as human avatars, when they come as Rama and Sita, they will face a tiny episode of separation. So it was a
oh,
manifestation of a curse, not a curse, a boon that some asura asked to separate Rama and
Uh,
Sita, Vishnu and
I
Lakshmi.
want to add one point.
Yes, please.
Mahabharata Tatparya Nirnayadalli, they have given one incident where thousands of Rakshasas meditate on Shiva, I think, some deva. ತಪಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನಾವ್ ಅಮರ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು ವಿ ಶುಡಂಟ್ ಡೈ ಅನ್ನೋ ಬೋನ್ ಅನ್ನು ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಆಗ ಶಿವ ಸೇಟ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಕಾಂಟ್ ಬಿ ಗಿವನ್ Aga they add a clause. We can die only if Vishnu and
Yeah,
Lakshmi get
get
separated
separated.
because of us.
Ah,
So ಅದಾಗಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನೋದು ದೇ so sure that Rama, I mean Vishnu and Lakshmi can't be separated ಅನ್ನೋದು they were so sure. So they asked, we'll die only if they get separated because of us ಅಂತ. And in Treta Yuga, they were the Agasa Jati Jananga people
the
who
fishermen and
become the
those people.
reason for separation of Rama and Sita, and
Ah.
atara some
But
incident
did
is
you get the
mentioned.
essence of what she mentioned? I'll just rephrase that again. So the thousands of rakshasas, they asked for a boon from Shiva, saying, "We want to be immortal." Right? Shiva said, "Nothing doing that is not possible." Right? So then they changed the request, saying, "We want to make it so that we will die only if Vishnu and Lakshmi get separated because of us." Okay. Now,
okay.
now that's impossible, because Vishnu and Lakshmi are the eternal, yeah. So, but
Uh,
now Vishnu and Lakshmi won't die, so which means these asuras also won't die, right? So,
mm,
whatever you do, you have to kill the asura. So you have to remove the negative elements, right? For that sake,
right.
Vishnu and Lakshmi take a Manava avatara, and as Rama and Sita, they separate, so the asuras will die, right?
But
So
that separation has already happened for 14 years.
no, they have to part ways for good. Rama and Sita don't get back together, Alia. They part ways for good. The Janma itself is over.
Oh, okay.
14 years is like it can be a vacation also, no? I can go for a 10-year vacation and say, we parted ways, so you die now. So,
Exactly.
ah, முடியாது இல்லையா?
Uh,
So, you have to part ways for good, right? So,
for good. Acha,
for
okay,
good,
that way.
yeah. So, to balance these Runanu Bandhas, a lot of Runanu Bandhas are happening right from Krita Yuga to Treta Yuga to Dwapara Yuga. We have not witnessed the
Okay.
Runanu Bandhas manifesting in Kali Yuga right now.
And there is one more story where Sita becomes reason for ಎರಡು ಗಿಣಿಗಳು when the wife guinea is pregnant.
Uh,
Because of Sita, I don't know what exactly happened. Amma knows correct ಆಗಿ.
Oh,
So Sita becomes the reason for their separation. Naga, the
Oh,
Shuka
Shiva.
Pakshi, the male Shuka Pakshi curses Sita. You will undergo the same situation and you will understand what I'm going through anta. ಆ
So
ತರ ಒಂದು story also
I
ಇದೆ.
understand all this, yeah, okay. From previous curse, adu, idu, and all of that. But then finally, when what Rama did was it his dharma? That's a question which is still unanswered for me.
as a Raja,
But I
he
agree to all
wanted to
these
remain a
things
Raja.
maybe because of this, because of that. But
Ah. As a Raja Dharma, as a Raja, where his entire kingdom comes first, he followed Dharma. See, that is a classic example why human birth is imperfect. Yeah. So,
uh,
a perfect human being is God, and an imperfect God is human.
even okay.
Okay. So,
Yeah, if you say that, yes,
uh,
then it see that is he was imperfect in
there is
this
imperfection.
avatara. And
He'll
that
never
is why
be
he did
perfect.
this because he chose the Raja
Uh,
over his wife,
Correct.
which is fair.
Imagine. I mean, who was that who mentioned? Was it Rashmi? Rashmi mentioned there is this episode where Lakshmana scolds Rama. ಏನು ಹುಡುಗಿ ಥರ ಅಳ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ ನೀನು when Sita is
Correct.
kidnapped, right? So
Correct.
Rama is Vishnu, but he's imperfect, and that's why he's getting emotionally affected. If he is
Perfect.
God, then he should not have been affected. He should be in
Correct.
the
Correct.
blissful consciousness.
Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was imperfect. So yeah. Okay.
See,
Yeah.
what
Yeah. So
how much imperfect. Yeah.
yeah, see
Okay.
the Purushottama, whatever you want to call, the moment you are human and you are bound by the five sense organs, you are limited. You are imperfect.
Correct. Correct. You can
Yes,
limit it
yeah.
for that
So
particular
that is
time.
why when
True.
we reach the highest stages of Jivan Mukti Viveka, like Swami Chinmayananda also mentions, that at one point the idol does not matter to you anymore. Or rather, you don't want
Exactly.
idols anymore, right? So I don't want a Rama's photo. I don't want a Hanuman's Vigraham. I don't want a Ganapati's photo. When you reach that stage, where you don't want a
Very
personification
true.
of
You
anything.
go above those. Definitely, you go above idols.
Correct.
That's true.
Yeah. So there was imperfection.
You
Like
go above
that's
idols,
the.
which is very true.
Uh, I think that's the. It's a very very constructive, you know, conversation we had now. Thank you for asking that question. Right. So. Yeah, so I mean, coming back to Ashwath's question again, did the Ramayana Mahabharata happen? Yes, of course. I mean, they did happen. Thousands of evidences have been found right now. So now the personifying them into the characters that I mentioned in the beginning of the session. I mean, beginning of the whole study circle itself. That let's correlate each character into our behavior because they were already made into archetypes, right? So each Kaikeyi is an archetype, Manthara is an archetype, Kaushalya is an archetype, right? They are one representative of one list of behaviors, right? So that is what we want to do. So I think Rashmi gave the sort of the right response. I really liked the response she gave, that the incidents happened, but we are
Well,
trying to correlate it to our life to see how we can learn from it and to be or to not to be.
coming.
Hmm. Hmm.
Uh,
uh, how
okay.
we can either learn how to be or how not to be from somebody, right? Or from anybody. We can learn both these things, right? From whether it's my parents or my gurus, I have learned both how to be and how not to be also. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's the purpose of correlating the characters into our behaviors. So awesome. Any other thoughts, questions anybody else has? I loved this discussion. Thanks, Putama, Priyanka, for adding those points. Any other questions or thoughts, or shall we get into reading the chapter 12? Chapter
Let's
1
go.
of 12. Yeah, yeah. All right. Yes. Chapter 1, subchapter 12. Okay. After an entire year had passed, it was spring again. Right? So 144, this is the horse returned after wandering around for a year. So that is the footnote for 144 here. Right? So the Ashwamedha Yajna, the horse which was sent, it came back. Okay. Following the rites, he that is Dasharatha, he greeted Vasishta and worshipped him. Okay. To obtain sons, he spoke these humble words to that supreme among Brahmanas. O Brahmana, O bull among sages, please perform the sacrifice properly. Let impediments not be caused to any part of the sacrifice. You are extremely affectionate towards me, and you are my supreme preceptor. The sacrifice that I am about to undertake is a burden, and you are capable of bearing that load. The supreme among Brahmanas agreed to what the king had said and replied, I will do everything that you have asked. He accordingly instructed all the aged Brahmanas who were familiar with sacrificial rites, accomplished architects, those who were aged and extremely devoted to dharma, artisans who could see everything through until completion, carpenters, those who dug, astrologers, craftsmen, actors, dancers, and extremely learned men acquainted with the unsullied sacred texts. Following the king's command, engage yourselves in tasks connected with the sacrifice. Quickly bring several thousand bricks. For the kings, construct many structures that possess all the qualities. You must build hundreds of auspicious residences for the Brahmanas. They must be properly stocked with many kinds of food and drink. For the residents of the city and the countryside, there must be many beautiful abodes that are stocked with diverse kinds of food and all the objects of desire. Food must be given properly and with honor, not indifferently. All the Varnas must be worshipped, respected well, and given this. Nothing must be offered with disrespect or with sentiments of desire and anger. Men and artisans who are eagerly engaged in tasks connected with the sacrifice must be specially worshipped in the due order. If no one is disrespected, then they will perform their tasks properly. All of you act in this way, pleasantly and with affection. Vasishtha summoned all of them and told them this, and they promised that they would all act in this way with nothing being ignored. Okay. Vasishtha summoned Sumantra and spoke these words. Invite all the kings on earth who are devoted to dharma, and thousands of Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras. Respectfully summon men from all the countries and the brave Janaka, lord of Mithila, for whom truth is his valor. He is devoted to all the sacred texts and devoted to the Vedas. Honor
One
that.
minute. Sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. He is devoted to all the sacred texts and devoted to the Vedas. Honor that immensely fortunate one well and bring him here yourself. It is because I know about this earlier alliance that I am mentioning him first. Okay, 146 is this probably means earlier friendship. At a stretch, this might also mean that Vasishtha knew about the future matrimonial alliance also. Okay, that's why he called Janaka, because he knew later on Janaka Putri Sita will be
Correct.
the wife of Rama, right? Yeah. Then there is the gentle king of Kashi, always pleasant in speech. His conduct is like that of a god. Bring him yourself. The aged king of Kekeya is extremely devoted to dharma. He is the father in law of this lion among kings. Bring him together with his son. The illustrious and immensely fortunate Romapada, lord of Anga, is a friend to this lion among kings. Honor him well and bring him here. Bring all the kings from the east, Sindhu, Sauvira, and the kings from the southern regions. Bring all the other virtuous and pleasant kings on earth. Bring all of them swiftly with their followers and relatives. Hearing Vasishtha's words, Sumantra quickly instructed men to act in accordance with the king's auspicious words. Following the sage's instructions, Sumantra, with dharma in his soul, himself departed quickly to invite the kings. Everyone came and informed the intelligent Vasishtha that the designated tasks had been completed. All of them told him that the objects needed for the sacrifice had been brought. Delighted, the foremost among Brahmanas again told all of them, even in jest, nothing should be given with any mark of disrespect. Jest is joke. Tamashiagunu, disrespectful ang ಮಾಡಬಾರದು. Even in jest, nothing should be given with any mark of disrespect. There is no doubt that if someone is given without respect, the giver is destroyed. After some days and nights, the kings started to arrive. They brought many kinds of gems for King Dasharatha. Extremely joyful, Vasishtha told the king, O tiger among men, following your command, the kings have arrived. Each as each one deserved, I have honored those best among kings. O king, disciplining themselves, the men have made arrangements for the sacrifice. So that the sacrifice can be performed, you should now go to the sacrificial ground. In every direction, it has been stocked with all the objects of desire. Following the words of Vasishtha and Rishyashringa, on an auspicious day and nakshatra, the Lord of the earth left, with Vasishtha leading the way and placing Rishyashringa at the forefront. The supreme among Brahmanas started the process for the sacrifice. Right? So that was chapter 1 of 12. Yeah. So this is literally like, this whole sacrifice, getting everything ready perfectly for this Ashwamedha Yaga. I think it's like anyway because there is Deepa and Deepashri and Priyanka here, both of them who are dealing with Garbha Samskara a lot, right? So they are well prepared to conduct courses on Garbha Samskara, right? For me, I mean, while I was reading whatever description was given now, it's like you're literally getting your body ready for the Garbha to happen. Right, so the samskaras, you're getting the samskaras ready, so the finest of the finest child becomes your, I mean, the finest of the finest soul or consciousness enters your body as your child, so it looks like a preparation ground, right? So that's what I was able to correlate. There's a like prenatal yoga. Deepu and Priyanka are dealing with it. So yes, it's 9:39. I think we can read one more chapter, shall we? One of 13.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a small
Yes,
one.
we can.
We can finish it off. Yeah, one more. Yeah. All right. Chapter 1, subchapter 13. After,
Rahul, bhai, shall I read it?
please, yeah, sure, please. Chapter
Yeah.
1, subchapter 13. Yes. You're able to
Okay.
see the screen, Nalia, Rajesh bhai, clearly? I'll just zoom in a little bit.
Yeah, I can see. I can see.
Okay.
Slightly, you can zoom it out, zoom out.
Zoom out.
Yeah,
1 second.
yeah, that's fine.
Yes.
Thank you for that.
Sure.
After an entire year was over, the horse returned. The king's sacrifice started on the northern bank of the Sarayu, placing Rishya Shringa at the forefront. The bulls among Brahmanas started the rites for the great horse sacrifice of the extremely great souled king. Learned in the Vedas, the officiating priests performed the required rites. In due order, they followed the ori- ordinances and policies of the sacred texts. The Brahmanas followed the sacred texts in observing the
Pravargya.
prava,
Pravargya and
pravargya
Upasad
and
rites. Upasad rites.
upsad rites.
So that is specific rites connected with a soma sacrifice, specific to doing the homas. Yeah. Yes.
In accordance with the sacred text, they performed all the other tasks. Delighted, all the bulls among the sages worshipped and, following the rites, performed all the rituals that have to be performed in the morning. In no way was there any deviation in any of these. The Brahmana checked that everything was properly performed.
Yeah. Here the Brahmana, the 148 refers to Rishi Shringa. So he checked that everything was properly
Okay.
performed. Yeah.
No one who was exhausted or hungry could be seen there. There was no ignorant Brahmana present, nor one without hundreds of followers. The Brahmanas in,
Incessantly.
incessantly ate.
Yeah.
The
Ascetics.
ascetics ate. Ascetics ate. The mendicants ate.
Mendicants. So Brahmana incessantly is
Mendicants.
without any limits they ate. The ascetics are also sages only, rishis. They ate, and
Okay.
mendicants are like this merchants basically, or the beggars also.
Okay.
Mendicants are beggars.
Okay. The aged, the diseased women and children incessantly ate and were still not satisfied. Many urgings of give, give food and different kinds of garments were here there. Many heaps of food could be seen as large as mountains and every day. They were cooked in the proper way. The Brahmanas praised the tasty food that had been prepared in the proper way. I am content. We are fortunate. These are the words Raghava heard.
Dasharatha. The
Or,
Raghava is Dasharatha here.
yes, ornamented men served the Brahmanas. They were aided by others wearing polished and bejeweled earrings. In gaps between the rituals, the Brahmanas indulged in many kinds of debates, wishing to defeat each other. Those patient and extremely eloquent ones spoke to each other. From one day to another day, those accomplished Brahmanas performed all the rites urged on by the sacred text. There was no one there who did not know the six Vedangas.
Vedangas. Yeah.
Vedangas. There was no one without vows or without learning. As an assistant priest, the king had no Brahmana who was not skilled. When the time came to erect the sacrificial post, there were six each made out of Bilva, Kadira, and Harina.
Parnina.
Harina. There was one constructed from Shells Mataka,
Shleshmataka.
Slash Mataka, and two from
Devadaru.
Devadaru. Devadaru. These two being laid out like two outstretched arms.
So here the
Or
footnote 150, it says in a horse sacrifice stretching from the north to the south, 21 sacrificial posts are laid out. The horse is tied to the main one, and this is made out of the Rajudala Shleshmataka tree. Two posts made out of Devadaru are in the north and south of this. There are six posts, each from Bilva, Khadira, and Palasha, Paranina. So just some details about how the things are placed. Yeah. Yes, Rajat bhai. Yeah. All of these. Yeah.
all of these were erected by those who were learned about the sacred text and about sacrifices. To bring beauty to the sacrifice, these were ornamented and embellished in gold. In accordance with the ordinances, all of these were firmly laid out by accomplished artisans. Each possessed eight smooth sides. They were covered with garments and decorated with flowers and fragrances. They were radiant like the
Saptarishi.
Saptarishis
Saptarishis
in,
in here.
Saptarishis in heaven.
Yeah, so the footnote here, the Saptarishis are the seven great sages. The list varies, but the standard ones are Marichi, Atri, Angiras, Pulastya, Pulaha, Kratu, and Vasishta. In the sky, the Saptarishis are identified with the constellation of Ursa Major, which is also called the Great Bear. Yeah. Yes.
Uh, Bricks were properly measured and laid out, and Brahmanas knowledgeable about Shulba rites readied the place for the fire.
Yeah. 142 Shulba rites are those connected with the construction of the altar for the sacrifice. The associated sacred texts are known as Shulba Sutras to construct the
Yeah.
Homa Kunda. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay.
18 bricks were laid out of three sides, and it looked like Garuda
So
with
the three
golden
three sides
feathers.
apparently this Homakonda is in the shape of a triangle. When we all sit for Ganapati Homa and all, it's a square earlier. So apparently this one is in the shape of a triangle. This Homakunda. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
As instructed by the sacred text, animals, serpents, birds, horses, and aquatic creatures were tethered to sacrificial
Tethered.
stakes,
Tethered is tied.
tethered,
Ah.
tethered to sacrificial stakes as offerings to the gods. Following the sacred texts, the officiating priest sacrificed these. 300 animals were tethered to sacrificial stakes, including King Dasaratha's supreme horse. In great joy, Kausalya worshipped the horse and used three swords to kill it. With a peaceful mind and wishing to obtain Dharma, Kausalya then spent a single night with that horse. The hortress
Hotris.
Advar,
Hotris.
the hortress
Agni Hotris. Hotris, Advaryus, and Udgatris.
Advaryus and
Udgatris.
Udgatris
Ah.
united the Mahishi, Parivirti, and Vavata with the horse.
Yeah, here 156, the footnote it says there were four classes of priests, though the classification varied over time. The Hotri is the chief priest and is accomplished in the Rig Veda. The Advaryu is the assistant priest and is accomplished in the Yajur Veda, though later the Udgatri came to be identified with the Sama Veda. In addition, there was the Brahmana or Purohita. Yeah, those many people. Yeah. And
The
157 was there, no?
extremely
157 was also, sorry, yeah.
150s.
Mahishi is the chief queen, the one who has been consecrated, the one who has been consecrated. Parivritti or Parivrikti is a queen who was earlier favored but is now neglected. Okay, Vavata is a favorite wife. Palagali is mentioned as the most inferior wife, a king being entitled to four wives. Sometimes Mahishi is said to be the Kshatriya wife, Vavata is said to be the Vaishya wife, and Parivritti is said to be the Shudra wife. In this case,
Oh,
the former meaning is appropriate. So,
Mm.
so the four
so what is the
wives.
meaning of consecrated over here?
Ingema, where was that? Sorry.
You said the wife they were consecrated anta.
The
What
one
is the
who has
meaning
been,
there?
Mahishi is the chief queen, the one who has been consecrated. So the
Means?
yajna, I mean, she will be sitting along with him. I'm assuming, for the
Oh, okay.
yaga.
Okay. 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 Okay.
For
Okay.
every homa, if it is a what do you call a grihastha, the grihini also has to be there. Yeah, okay. So I think the who is chosen to be the grihini.
He cannot sit alone, no?
Yeah,
So,
yeah. So who is going to be chosen is that he or she has to be
Ardhangini.
Ardhangini. She is consecrated. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, Rajesh bhai. The extremely controlled.
The extremely controlled officiating priest controlled in their senses, extracted the horse entrails, and following the sacred text, offered this as ob- oblation into the fire. At the appropriate time, following the rituals and desiring to cleanse himself of sins, the Lord of Men inhaled the fragrance of the smoke from the entrails. 16 Brahmanas who were officiating priests observed the rituals and offered all the limbs of the horse into the fire. In other sacrifices, oblations are offered using the branch of a laksha tree
Plaksha
Footnote
tree, I
Laksha.
think, is
158.
the Plaksha tree is the fig, the holy fig tree. Fig is Anjura, Anjura tree.
Okay.
Yeah,
Footnote 158.
158. Yes, 158 is the fig tree. Fig is the Anjura,
Okay.
Anjura tree. Yeah.
However, in the case of a horse sacrifice, the sacrifice is conducted with a single reed. According to the Sutras and the Brahmana text, footnote 159,
Ah.
the horse sacrifice numbers 3 days.
So here 159 is the Kalpa Sutras are sacred texts that describe rituals. Brahmanas are sacred texts not to be confused with the Varna of Brahmana. Yeah. So Shatapatha Brahmana antala, there are other sacred texts. So that is not the Brahmana, Vaishya, Shudra, not that Brahmana. Right? So yeah. Okay.
Then what is it?
It's a sacred text. Like you have one text called the Shatapatha Brahmana, then you have something called
I
uh,
like that.
uh, it's like the like another Gita, like Uddhava Gita,
Okay.
Shavaka Gita, Bhagavad Gita, right? So on the Madri, yeah, yeah.
All right.
The first day after that has been taught of a Chatushtoma,
Chatushtoma. Huh.
Chatushtoma. The second has been counted as Ukta, and the third is known as Adhiratra.
Atiratra.
Footnote 1660.
Yeah, so 160 is these are days on which Soma sacrifices are offered. Chatushtoma also being known as Agnishtoma. So the days basically. Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Thereafter, other great sacrifices like Jyotishtoma,
Ayush.
Ayushtoma, Adhiratra, Abhijit,
Vishwajit.
Vishvajit,
Vishwajit.
and Viswajit, and
Aptoryama. Aptoryama.
Aptoryama were performed. The king, the extender of his own lineage,
Lineage.
gave away the eastern direction to the Hotri, the western direction to the Advaryu, the southern direction to the Brahmana, and the northern direction to the Udgatri and
As the
Dakshina.
Dakshina.
Footnote
Yeah.
161.
So these are the basically the dakshina. Dakshina is fees. So sacrificial fees. These were donated symbolically, and for the four the priests who were doing the homa. Right, the north belongs to you, the south belongs to you. So there he's just giving that as dakshina, as fees. Yeah. Okay.
In ancient times, Swayambhu had performed a great horse sacrifice. Having properly completed the sacrifice, the king, bull among men, and the extender of sacrifices, donated the earth of the officiating priest.
To the
With the
officiating.
king, yeah, priest, with the king cleansed of all his sins, all the officiating priest told him, "You are alone or the capable of protecting the entire earth. We have nothing to do with the earth. We are incapable of ruling it. O Lord of the earth, we are always engaged in studying. Instead, give us something that has an equivalent value." The king gave them 1 million cows, 10 crore gold coins, and 40 crore silver coins. Collectively, all the officiating priests gave those riches to the sa-
Sage.
sag-
Sage. Sage.
sage Rishya Shringa and the intelligent Vashishta. Each of those supreme among Brahmanas received his proper share. All of them were supremely delighted and said that they were satisfied. Having performed that supreme sacrifice, which destroys sins and conveyed one to heaven, the king was delighted. It was a sacrifice that was extremely difficult for kings to perform. King Dasharatha then told Rishya Shringa, oh, one who is excellent in his works, you should act so that my lineage is extended. The supreme among Brahmanas told the king that it would indeed be the way.
Be that
O
way.
king, you will have four sons who will extend your lineage.
Yes. Yes. Awesome. Thank you, Rajesh Bhai. Yeah. That
Thank you.
brings us to the end of chapter 1, subchapter 13. Great. I think
Okay.
we are sort of on time also, 9:57. Perfect. We are going at a good pace. I think we are covering minimum two chapters every session. Yeah. I mean, today we had a very nice constructive discussion also, which was really important. So great, great. I hope all of you are enjoying the time that you're spending here. I mean, once again, I
Yes, definitely.
really appreciate the time you're taking off for this. You know, it does mean something. Yeah.
Actually, it's a lot of selfishness in this. I think from my side at least, I want to understand more of all this and
Yeah.
put all my stupid questions across if they are.
We are all
That,
contemplating together. So,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, in fact, my reason was even more selfish, ma. So I anyway wanted to read. I had purchased this book a couple of months back, the Bibek Dev Roy version, and I anyway wanted to start studying. Maybe wake up at 5:30 in the morning and start reading. But then I was lazy, so I was not able to wake up at 5:30. We have the
I
baby
think it's
also.
everybody's journey from
Everybody's
selfishness to
selfishness to
selflessness.
selfish. Absolutely, absolutely, yeah. So somehow it just occurred to me that there may be like-minded people who would like to do this together. So I'm really glad you all are taking the time off for this. It really means a lot. Okay. Yes. So let's continue. Let's continue with the same spirit. All right. So I think I have reached a stage where it's become an addiction now. I'm not able to. I mean, no matter how tired I am or whatever it is, I won't be skipping this.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Same here.
yeah, I hope
If
it's the
I'm,
same.
unless I'm extremely busy or caught
Yeah,
up in
yeah, of course,
something,
of
I
course.
definitely.
So let's make sure, I mean, if there is more than 50% of the people who are not able to join, the regular ones who are not able to join, we will definitely maybe shift it to the Friday evening or whatever it is, which is convenient for everyone. Yeah, so yeah, okay. Yeah. Anyway,
Sure,
we
sure.
are recording the sessions anyway, so it will be available on YouTube. Maximum in one day, within 48 hours, I'm trying to upload it off to YouTube for those who are missing the session. So yeah,
Okay.
yeah, okay. So
Where is that
everybody,
YouTube link then?
it's there on Kalartham, that YouTube channel. So everything is uploaded there. I made it public also. Anybody can watch. So as soon as I upload it, I'm putting the link on the WhatsApp group also.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
okay.
Everything,
Okay.
all the sessions so far is there on YouTube. So
All right. Okay,
yeah,
wonderful.
yeah. Okay. Awesome. I think
Okay.
we are bang on time. We'll just conclude with the slokas. Yeah.
Yes.
ॐ सहनाववतु
Okay.
सहनो भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्तिः 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 असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय ॐ शान्तिः 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 सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ शान्तिः 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 लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ
Thank
All right. Thank you all so much.
Thank
you
you.
very
Thank
much.
you. Thank
Yeah,
you so
take
much,
care.
Rahul.
Yes,
Thank
thank you
you.
so much. Take care. Good
Thank
night.
Thank you.
you.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.